Hello, welcome back to Heretic Owl Tarot. My name is Liz, and I will be guiding you on this journey today. This is a reading, finally, for the 4-1 profile or the opportunist investigator. And if you don't know your human design profile, there's a link in the bio or link in the description below to get your human design body graph. There will be a ton of great information pertaining to you and your personal design. But for the purposes of these readings, we're using your profile. And I'm also happy to be doing zodiac sign readings again. So the energy for those is back. Happy about it. So definitely check out your sun, rising, moon, Venus, whatever. Yeah. It's just, it's just an additional avenue for information because not every 4-1 is a Cancer or Leo or, whatever. So, what is it? Look at. Okay. Let's just do that. Anything else? I don't know. So let's get you an oracle card, and then of course we'll get your tarot out. And yeah. Ooh. Okay. The 4-1 coming in strong. I was even thinking before I do this reading, I always feel like whoever decides to go last, it's always such a powerful message. So we have free from judgment, free to love. I love that. And it also has a green hue to it, which to me feels like heart chakra. We have the Knight of Wands in reverse. Okay. The Two of Wands, Moon, Four of Cups, Death. Yeah. One more. The Hermit. And then the Page of Swords at the bottom of the deck, Two of Swords, Three of Swords. Interesting. Okay. So let me just make sure everything is in frame here, and then of course we'll start talking about your reading. Okay. And also, I apologize in advance. My nose is just being crazy this morning. So if I'm like sniffling a lot, I apologize. I might have to excuse myself at some point to go blow my nose for the 1000th time today already over it. So let's see what this card has to say. Imagine a world so infused with bliss, love, and wonder that you naturally and always feel as safe as a nourished, cherished baby in the arms of the Universal Mother. Life mothers us with kindness, and sometimes when we need it to grow through challenges as well. Accepting this mothering in its gentle and fierce phases can be difficult at times. Yet there are the most brave enough in spirit to go forth onto their life path with absolute trust in the Universal Mother. Some are even part of her plan to help mother others so that they too can surrender fear and live more freely. This oracle comes with a message for you. You are learning about mothering and being mothered. You might not do this in a typical way. It might be through bearing children, but it could also be through adopting children, raising children, or otherwise taking care of children and loving them as if they were your own. You might also be learning how to mother on a rather different scale, working with groups, communities, causes, or purposes that need your devotion, your energy, your belief in their value, and your willingness to be in the wild, to be the wild tigress or the supportive shoulder to lean upon in order to bring those worthwhile groups to life. You may also be an aspect of the universal mother on a spiritual level. Some people that do this are male, some are female. Some have children and some do not. Some are healers and some work in seemingly more ordinary professions. They have a mothering aspect in common, and they love and respect life. They believe in life, are moved by compassion, and are genuinely encouraging and respectful of people. Rather than taking perverse delight when someone stumbles, they want to help. They are ordinary people with an extraordinary natural tendency to nurture life around them. If you have been asking life for a solution to a specific difficulty you have been having, this oracle comes with a message that a solution is in gestation right now. The situation is already being sorted out, and the resolution will come to fruition very soon. Hold tight and wait for the imminent birth of that resolution. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, it definitely feels like switching gears in some aspect here. It's kind of like, maybe the thing that you have been focusing on, it's not yielding the same result that it was before. It's not making you feel that you're just not maybe passionate about it anymore. Maybe it turned out to not be what you thought it was. I'm going to sneeze. I'll be back. So I halfway say that because the Knight of Wands came out in the reverse. Wands have to do with action, the motivation behind the actions that we take, creativity, passion. How are we communicating those things? What actions are we taking towards those things? I also see wands as being information because that's what we get by trying things. We figure out what works, what doesn't work, what do we like, what don't we like, what stays, what goes. It's those life lessons, right? But I truly believe that the only way to figure those things out is by taking action towards something or trying something. So, the Knight of Wands is that person or that energy that is trying the stuff. Knights are usually out there on the battlefield, they're the front line, right? So they're the ones that are taking actionable steps, going on that adventure, right? And so upright, they're holding this little flame being. I keep calling it a nymph. I'm not sure if that's the right term, but this little fire being in their hand. And to me, it's like, it's the embodiment of your passion, of your creativity, discovering even what that is. So, again, with this being in the reverse, it could even just be not knowing what you want to put your energy into. You may not know what to take action towards. I think part of that is I think for the most part, we know what we want to do. It's just getting through our mental and physical blocks to that. And it's paired with the Four of Cups. This this card speaks to boredom or disappointment, lethargy even, right? I mean, there's these 3 cups down there. I'm not even sure if this person can see these 3 cups. So maybe they're just kind of they definitely aren't looking at this cup that's, kind of up in the tree. So they could be feeling like nothing. Nothing is showing up, nothing is around them. Cups are our emotions, even heart center, heart chakra. How do we feel about ourselves? How do we feel about our lives? The people that we're spending time with, where we're showing up in our lives, what we're doing every day. How do we feel about that thing? It's also, of course, love and our relationship to it and how we receive it, but also how we give it. So again, with the Four of Cups, there's these 3 cups here. And either way, this person is not satisfied with those 3 cups. However, there is this fourth cup up there. So traditionally or usually, that cup is being offered as a gift from the universe type of thing. And truly, I mean, how did it even end up in the tree? It's almost like this offering from the trees in some capacity. You could maybe need to go sit with a tree, or if you have any type of like wooded area around you that is accessible to you, it would probably be a good idea to go sit out there and like have an open heart, really allow yourself to hear the message. I 100% believe in talking to trees. I do it all the time. And I also, like, anytime I do kind of feel like this, it's like, I kind of give that energy to a tree and ask it to photosynthesize it, because that's what trees do, right? They turn UV rays or sunlight, whatever, they photosynthesize it into food and help it grow and turn it into oxygen and all those things, right? So I'm always like, can you take this and, basically clarify it for me, purify it? And I 100% believe that you will receive an answer from trees too. Like, there's been plenty of trees that I have asked to talk to, and they were like, no. So, I mean, just try it. Just try it. It's kind of funny. But yeah, so, like there's this overall meh kind of feeling at the start here. And maybe, again, there's something with a Knight of Wands where maybe you just haven't discovered your passion yet. You don't know what actions to take yet. And the Four of Cups is like, I just don't even really like what's being offered. I'm not feeling very inspired in my own life, or whatever that case may be, because then we have the Two of Wands next. So this to me feels like almost like taking an active role in finding it, instead of just waiting for it to show up like the Four of Cups is. And maybe that's part of the problem, is that you've just been sitting there waiting for it to drop in, and it just hasn't dropped in yet. So it's like, well, there must not be anything because it hasn't shown up yet. But really, it's like, what actions have you taken towards anything? This feels like a read, like the library is open type of read, And hey, if that's what you need, I'll be the librarian. Let me find my little glasses here. I'll be the librarian, okay? Some of my reading glasses. Okay. So, the Two of Wands is planning for the future. I mean, truly, right? Like, they're literally looking out over the horizon. So that would mean that the Ace of Wands has already presented itself somewhere, even though we don't have it on the table. But the Two of Wands then is like, okay, what are the possibilities? What are the actions that I can take? What steps do I want to take towards this thing? Right? So again, Two of Wands, planning for the future. It could even just be, like a future. This could even be what is in your future, really, because we have the Death card next. And not to say that this is not literal death. Like in the sense of, you know what I mean, right? Okay, so this isn't literally that, but this is the true end of a cycle. I always say when the Death card comes out, every new beginning disguises itself as an end. Because truly, like, something has to end in order for something new to begin. That could be a behavior pattern, a thought pattern. Like if you're sitting there bored and disappointed, if you feel like you don't have any passions, it's like that has to stop. It, like the frame of mind, the way that you feel about things, because that is just going to continue, which isn't helping you really. If anything, it's keeping you in that energy of not being passionate, not feeling good about things. So there is something that has to end so that something new can begin. And I love that this death card, it looks like, they're opening their robe. And there's this, it looks like they're inviting us in to the unknown, right? It's this trusting the uncertainty. Again, I keep hearing like open heart type of thing, like not even keep an open mind. We don't need that. We need you to keep an open heart. And of course, like with this card, I always get this feeling of like the only way out is in. Especially with the moon and the hermit card next. Like it's literally, and especially, okay, I feel like this is kind of coming together. The 4-1 profile is the only fixed fate profile there is. And I feel like most of the 4-1 readings, it's this reminder, this reiteration that you do have a fixed path and you are meant to stay fixed on that path. And of course, though, along the way, people around us could be frustrated by that or, make you feel a certain way for that because you just inherently know that you are meant to follow a certain path, right? So I think it's natural for people to veer off of that because you want to get along, right? You want your life to be a little easier. You want to be likable and agreeable and blah, 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 right? And sure, you can do that for a time, but then it comes to a point where it's no longer comfortable. And there's almost this fight within yourself, like there's something that is trying to pull you in a certain direction, but then there's the ego or there's the other part of you that's like, I don't want to make waves. I don't want to, whatever. So, even there's that Erykah Badu song. I think it's called Didn't You Know? But in that, there's a line that she says, so she says, I'm trying to decide which way to go. I think I made a wrong turn back there somewhere. It's something about the heart will find its way back. Let me see. So when I stumble off the path, I know my heart will guide me back. Maybe listen to that song. In nature. Go sit with a tree, listen to that song. Then we have the moon card. In astrology, the moon is tied to our emotional body, how we process emotions, how we share emotions. This could even be getting in tap with that, regardless of if you're emotionally defined or not. If you are, then of course, it's getting in tune with the wave that comes with the emotional solar plexus. If you are not emotionally defined, it's deciding or discerning between what emotions are yours or not, and even clarifying your heart center. So, that could involve taking baths, setting intention to clear out what is not yours and either send it back to whoever it belongs to, or, shoot it up into the ethers, set an intention for it to be purified, and then just be available to whoever needs it whenever they need it. That's what I do sometimes too. if that makes sense. But the moon also talks about our subconscious. It's also a lot of like, things have not been fully revealed yet. There's an aspect of uncertainty with the moon card. So it's interesting that the uncertainty aspect has popped up between the death card and the moon card, because there really is like a level of trust and surrender that goes into uncertainty, like, because if it's like one of the things with when the moon card comes out, you're not going to be able to intuit how things are going to unfold. They're going to unfold the way that they are going to unfold, and it's not going to be in a manner that you think it will. That's where kind of even the surprise thing comes up a little bit, because again, it's like something is just not going to go the way that you think. And with it paired with the Hermit card, again, there is this feeling about going within this whole thing. It could even be reparenting yourself. That card was very mother heavy, so it could be reparenting yourself. It could be, you have that opportunist fourth line, which is very much community network people, right? So there could be an aspect of community where you do offer emotional support in some capacity. So with the Hermit card, the Hermit it's kind of interesting. Like these two figures, they look almost like the same person to me. Right? So the Hermit card is like literally the embodiment of like going inside, going within yourself, because the Hermit talks about healing, meditation. It's also about your unique path. So there's this lone wolfy quality to the Hermit card, because they're making the conscious decision to follow their own path. And that is unique to you, because truly you're the only person that can walk your path. And there's also, there's this snake here, which to me in this card specifically has been talking about growth or evolution, because of course, snakes shed their skin, and what is the reason for them doing that? Because they've outgrown it. So again, there's some level of spiritual or emotional growth that is possible here, but this almost even kind of feels like a dark night of the soul, I'm not gonna lie, especially with the moon card, because both of these cards it's digging into your subconscious, healing something. That's why too, it could be reparenting yourself. Also too, like with things that shed, I don't know if it's the same for snakes, but I know like for spiders, or big spiders like tarantulas that shed their skin, they do that because they're growing, for one, and for two, they regenerate, repair, or replace parts of their bodies, right? Like, so if there is like an emotional wound, the shedding of your skin would be regenerating, or just kind of healing that within yourself, which is fairly deep. It's like, you're only going to find your thing within yourself. So if you've been looking outside of yourself, like this Four of Cups, if you've been waiting for something to show up around, like outside of you, you're looking in the wrong direction. Because even with this Death card, you got to go in, you got to go in. And with this Page of Swords, this is the maze back there. Swords have to do with our minds, thoughts, beliefs, mindset, truth, honesty, I also see swords as being the suit of ego, because that's generally where we hear our ego. And our ego is created by the stories that we attach to feelings, experiences, circumstances, people, whether they were our stories or not, and whether they're true or not. But it does become the reason why we do and don't do certain things. It becomes our identity, personality, temperament. So the Page of Swords, they're holding the Ace of Swords here. So they've already got this idea going. There's this book down here. They're at the beginning of the maze also. They're not even in it yet. But there's this orb up here. So there's something circulating around you that just hasn't quite dropped into your consciousness yet. But again, it's like it's in there, it's there. It's just a matter of joining you with it. So, pages are, I call them the apprentices. They're new energies. So this is somebody who is going to put a new idea to practice. Maybe they're researching a thing. Just because there's this book down here, like I said, like I'll be the librarian. But it could be discovering a truth about yourself, discovering a new belief, new perspective, whatever that is. The Two of Swords. The Two of Swords generally talks about indecision, but with this one, I mean, they have two faces. And it's like, what face do I want to show today? So again, there is this healing thing that's going on here, because if you have been split into two, and metaphorically, then it would be deciding which one is you or not. Maybe neither one of them are, or maybe aspects of both are. And then we have this progression to the Three of Swords, which, I mean, the odds of these two coming in one after the other is like fairly rare. But there are two depictions of the Three of Swords in this deck. This is one of them. And this is, turning this, whatever the Three of Swords is, because it generally talks about rejection, betrayal, heartbreak, but it's swords. So it's how those experiences live in our mind. What stories are we attaching to those things? Again, they're holding this book here, so it's turning those things into knowledge, because there's all these birds that are going right up into their brain, right? So it's turning those experiences into wisdom. We have the Five of Pentacles, which is about lack, scarcity. You might feel ostracized in some capacity. There's this person back here, and then these two that are kind of supporting each other. And to me, it feels like, again, like being ostracized. And you might experience that. Like if you start authentically being, and if that's in some capacity not the way that people are used to you being, there are people that would be like, you changed, but like it doesn't benefit me anymore, which is good. It should benefit you. We have the Strength card, which is inner strength, determination, perseverance, really standing in your own power. The Magician. Literally anything is possible. This is now, I just heard, working with your own magic. Quite the journey. And thank you for allowing me to be part of it. I am going to leave it there, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.